One of the crucial discussions when it comes to psychoanalysis and art is about the role of mental disorders in the creative power of artists. My opinion is that personality diseases are an obstacle to the talent, not an aid as usually considered. The artist himself, as any human being, risks to identify his creativity with his disease. My opinion is based on the fact that a personality disease is other than pain, sorrow, or disappointment. The letters are for sure part of the creativity as far as they are a free emotional flow, while personality diseases are obstacles to the inner freedom to feel and express emotions. Unfortunately, the majority of people cannot perceive this distinction, bearing their diseases as inexorable fate. We should imagine Munch's art as the expression of the parts of his personality that were not affected by his diseases, as the parties that fought against the diseases. Munch confirms this opinion with his own words. I am of the opinion, however, that my art is not sick. When I paint, sickness and suffering are on the contrary a healthy resource. Munch felt the illness as a destiny, as a legacy from his father who suffered of mental disorder and from the illnesses of other ancestors. Facing this sad vision of his life, Munch has been able to have a crucial reaction. His sad destiny led him to rebellion. This is a key to understand his art, which shall not at all be considered a mere representation of suffering, but a rebellion against it. In works like Evening on Karl Johan Street, we see the expression of distress, the courage to represent the reality in his own way, against the conventional facade of serenity of the bourgeois, painted instead as alienated personalities. People are not as they pretend to be. Behind apparent happiness there is anguish. Munch breaks the obligation to be healthy like the others. This has been his way to freedom.
October 19, 1920. Sigmund Freud is writing a letter. It is directed to Stefan Zweig, the great Viennese writer. Freud speaks to him of Dostoevsky, an author who cannot be understood except through psychoanalysis. Indeed, writes Freud, Dostoevsky does not need psychoanalysis because he illustrates it with each of his characters, with each sentence of him.
I believe that one of the key facts defining an important artist is the power to access the deepness of his inner world, and therefore of the external one, conceiving so an original interpretation of the reality, because who can understand himself in depth can see things in ways inaccessible to the average people. Freud was the first to discover this emotional and psychological power in the artist.